What's happening? It's your man Valentine, and we are back with the lovely, talented, creative editor of this magazine called Jamaican Eats. This is the magazine. Grace Cameron.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Wow, such compliments.
Yes, yes. And I almost forgot about you, but I didn't. No, I can't. We can joke all we want. It's all good. How you doing, though?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yep.
Now, tell us a little about this magazine, Jamaican Eats.
Well, you know, the magazine started 6 years ago exactly. And it's about primarily Jamaican food, but in every issue we try to have something about some of the other Caribbean islands. Mm-hmm. So it's a celebration of the food and culture of Jamaica and the Caribbean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you first started, how did you get people to be interested in what you were writing about?
Well, you know, I knew that I had an audience because before I the reason why I started the magazine, actually, I was working at the Gleaner in Jamaica in Kingston as a lifestyle editor.
Yeah.
And the food section was part of what I did. And I realized the tremendous response that we got to it, and it made me realize that food was more than just about eating. It was about culture, it was about family, it was about a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. And the response that we got, especially from the overseas community, to this food section when it went online was amazing.
Yeah.
And that gave me the idea for it. So I knew I had an audience. I knew that there was a niche to be filled. And so in terms of getting readership, that's never been an issue.
Right.
And everywhere we go with the magazine or whenever people see it, the response is always the same.
Nice.
There's an instinct towards it because people just love the idea of it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, these are some of the, these are like drinks, but this is some of the pictures that are in this magazine. I mean, there's some real nice shots in here.
That's an iced tea. This is a summer issue, one of the summer editions that we did.
Okay.
And so we featured various cold drinks, iced tea, iced coffee, etc.
Yeah. And you got some lovely foods in here, man. And tell us about the foods that you article in here.
Well, you know, like Jamaican culture and like Jamaican people, the food is very colorful and very bold and very sassy.
We're
talking about jerk, of course. We're talking
rice
about
and peas.
We're talking about rice and peas. We're talking about curried goat.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, rice and peas in particular in the Caribbean, we did one particular edition where we featured 11 or 12 different rice and peas dishes.
Sure.
Because in Cuba, for example, they do their rice and peas a little bit different than in Jamaica, and then in Belize and in Trinidad and Barbados.
Yeah.
They also do it a little bit different. So
now, do you get to taste them all, or?
I get to taste most of it, yes. But you can only taste. You can't have the full meal all the time.
Now, did you mention jerk?
Jerk, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because, I mean, you know, Jamaica is famous for that jerk chicken.
Of course. And, of course, jerk, at the heart of jerk is the Scotch bonnet pepper.
Yes.
And the pimento, or what the rest of the world calls allspice, we call pimento.
Yeah.
Two key things to jerk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you talking.
Yeah,
Did you bring us some?
Not today.
Now, how did you decide to go into writing a food magazine, though, before you started all the other stuff?
Well, first of all, I think of myself as a storyteller because I'm a journalist, and I think journalists are storytellers, not necessarily, sometimes part historian, but also storytellers.
Okay.
And I really like the idea of telling the stories of Jamaica and the Caribbean through food, because again, food speaks to so much. It speaks to who the people are, the culture, the history. It speaks to a lot. And so that excited me. Now,
I see you speak about people and food, and I got this. This is somebody that everybody knows. Oops. This is my man, Usain Bolt.
Exactly.
So,
the fastest man alive.
Now, we talk about food. Now, what kind of food is he eating?
Well, you know, Usain Bolt loves his pork and cornmeal dumplings. That's just him. You know, when we interviewed him for that particular edition, he talked about his pork and no fancy greens or whatever. You know, he just likes his real hard Jamaican food. And you know, that was very interesting. He talked about his grandmother eating food at his grandmother's place and so on. Yeah.
Now, when the Olympics are going to get ready to happen. Now, you sending him some food to...
He doesn't need us to send him food. He's doing well on his own, you know. But for, you know, for Usain and the other Jamaican athletes, they tend to stay pretty true to their Caribbean roots in terms of the kind of food that they eat when they go to the Olympics.
Now, who's this here? Who's this one?
Well, that's Veronica Campbell. She won the 200-meter gold medal at the last Olympics, and I think the one before as well. And she talked about her curry chicken. Okay. So again, curry chicken and rice and peas, sticking true to the Jamaican food. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, Jamaica is celebrating their 50th anniversary of independence. So what are you going to be doing for your magazine for the 50th?
Well, the magazine, the next edition comes up in August. And in that edition, we will have a celebration of Jamaican foods. Okay. So some of the great things, such as plantain tart, we're going to be talking a little bit about jerk, and we're going to be highlighting some of the foods that Jamaica has given to the world. Okay. People don't really know that. For example, there are two fruits. One that's called ugly, which is really ugly but very sweet. And the Ortanique, they're both native to Jamaica.
And they'll be in the magazine.
And they'll be in the magazine. Okay. Pimento, known as allspice to everybody else, is also a Jamaican product. So we'll be talking about that, as well as Scotch bonnet. Okay. You know, people think of Scotch bonnet, they think habanero. Yeah, it's part of the habanero family, but here's the thing about Scotch bonnet pepper. It's not only hot, but it's got the flavor. Yes. So it's got the heat and the flavor, so it's several steps above your regular habanero. Okay. So that gives us bragging rights.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, for you.
Yes.
If you can describe a defining moment for you in your lifetime and writing the magazines, I mean, what would that be?
Well, you know, there are a few. I can think of when I just started the magazine. I used to get mainly these older women, usually from Great Britain, from England, calling me when they would have stumbled on the magazine and almost crying on the phone because they would say, you know, I just found this magazine and it's so good and it's so positive. I left Jamaica 50 years ago and now I have something positive to show my grandchildren or to share with my grandchildren. And that touched me because it spoke to the heart of why I started the magazine and wanted to do it. So those were great moments. But also there are moments from people who are not from Jamaica and the Caribbean, who appreciated it, who like it, and who are just foodies in general. And again, because it told me or confirmed for me how food connects us all. Right. Yeah.
Nice. Now, I'm going to get you on the grind question because everyone who's out there who's on the grind and maybe they want to start writing in a magazine or becoming the journalist like you, but they're not getting the help or the love or whatever it is. I mean, what can you tell them to inspire them to stay on the grind?
Well, one, you have to believe in what you have to offer and what you're doing. So you really have to be committed to it. If you're fair-weathered about it, then you really won't get very far. So it does require a lot of that. It requires having a vision and staying true to your vision. But also as well, one of the things that I realized, you cannot do it alone. You have to form alliances and have allies to help you forward, people that you network with. Otherwise, you're sort of like a lone wolf, and that's not the best way to do it.
Right. Now, if you wasn't the creator and editor-in-chief of this magazine, I mean, what would you be?
Well, you know, when I was 12 years old, I wanted to be a French translator at the UN. This was while still in Jamaica. And my French teacher, I remember her name right now, Madame Garel, she encouraged me. And that's what I was going to be, a French translator at the UN. But then I stumbled on writing and so on, and I kind of gravitated towards that.
Now, do you remember your first article that you've written?
For the magazine? The first one I did was a piece called Will the Real Jerk Please Stand Up? And it's a story about people taking the name of jerk in vain.
Yeah.
You know, people doing all kinds of sauces and calling it jerk. And so we did something around that, especially in the UK. People adding all kinds of crazy stuff and saying this is jerk. Whereas we know the real jerk, you know, with the pimento, the real pimento and the Scotch bonnet and all of that stuff has to be there to have that authentic flavor.
Right.
So that was a fun piece as well.
Okay. Now, when's the magazine coming out?
It's coming out in late August, the next edition. We publish 3 times a year.
Now, where can we find it?
Well, it used to be available retail in chapters and so on, but for the last while, it's now available only through our website.
Okay. What's the website?
The website is www.JamaicanEats.com.
Okay.
So if people go there, they can subscribe and order the magazine.
Right.
We also have a Facebook group, Jamaican Eats Magazine Facebook group. So people can find us that way as well.
Now, what is next for you? Is there something bigger than being the editor of this magazine? What's next?
Yes, I do have something up my sleeve, but I really can't talk about it at the moment.
Okay.
But,
so we'll keep that on the download then, huh?
Exactly. And it should be exciting, just keeping our fingers crossed that it will come through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Grace Cameron.
Yes.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
I want to thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And this was lovely.
Thanks.
This is Jamaican Eats, the magazine. Miss Grace Cameron. I want to thank my man Shizzle for coming through. And Provision, Aerocar, all the love that you've given us. Shaw for giving us all sorts of love, and all the people on the staff showing us all the love that you can. Facebook, Twitter. I'm your man Valentine, baby. We'll see you soon. But if you think it's your time to shine, you need to get on the grind with your man Valentine. Grace Campbell, Shizzle, all the guests that we've had, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for the love. It's right here. Bless. Oh.
Great.
Usain Bolt, you know, 100-meter champion.
August 5th.
August 5th.
Time.